Yeah, it's your boy E3, son of the legendary Godfather, gangster rap, Eric Easy, right? And yeah, you rockin' with NUGL TV. You know, we rich and ruthless, baby. Once again, NUGL TV, rich and ruthless, baby. We choose to keep it real. Really though.
You hear me? We're back again with another edition of NUGL Podcast TV. And I want to say,
with a dub rolling.
E3, how you been this week, man?
I've been lovely, man. I've been lovely. I'm doing better now, you know what I mean?
Things are getting better.
You know what I'm saying? Rocking with my folks.
Things are
NUGL
getting better.
TV, things are getting better.
Life gets good.
And straight to it. We have a VIGIP. We mixing it up.
We have a what?
A VIGIP.
Wow.
What is that? You want to ask?
Yeah.
Ask me.
Can you tell me what the VIGIP is?
Wow. Okay, I'm going to get straight to it. The VIGIP is sitting next to me. And the VIGIP stands for Very Important Guest in Production. Now, introduce yourself to the world.
Let's give it up for the VIGIP.
Holla if you hear me.
Let them know what it is.
Who we have on to my right?
I am Melissa, formerly known as White Chocolate Balin.
Tasty sweet.
And the word on the street is
I grew up with
that
cavities.
I'm just not rich enough or ruthless enough, but I'm still here though. I am still here though.
So, something makes sense that you're here.
Yes.
Give thanks.
You know.
Wow. Filmmaker?
Wait. You're not rich and you're not ruthless. Check that.
Enough.
No.
Enough.
So
That's
you are.
the word on the street.
The word on the street.
Well, they don't let you in the building if you know.
Are you in the building?
No. She said the word on the street. The word on the street is you got the hookup.
There it is.
Let's hop into that.
I got the hookup.
Let's break
Shout
down.
out to Master P and Romeo Miller and the weekend that they're going to be watching this on
My
the
yachties.
replay, but I got the hookup too. Did open.
Let's give it a round of applause. Master P.
Yeah, shout out to Master P and
has
everybody
Easy E and
involved in it.
That was
I got the hookup,
non-union,
too.
so I didn't work on that one.
Shout out
so
to my
I'll see you on
big
the
brother, Lil
Treyway, but
Easy,
shout
too.
out, I worked on the first one. I got the hookup, hook it up.
That was a bigger budget.
And I'm a ghost writer, not a ghost rider.
All
you know
right.
what I mean? Contrary to popular belief.
Wow.
So wait a minute. Did you
It's a
act,
TRU
no.
story.
Did you act in that too? Cause you know how the two cops, you know.
Shout out to Priority Records.
You know
Shout
who those
out
cops?
To Duff.
Don't tell me you Tootsie pop up in there.
Actually, Duff and Andrew will tell you, the other Shaq will tell you that I was their very first acting coach.
Is that right?
So shout out to Priority Records. They made a lot of cameos and I got the hookup. And actually Bishop Lamont did a cameo and I got the hookup, and all the No Limit soldiers. And I just want to say it is a true story to free Corey Miller. He's been locked up and he never pulled a trigger. So we want to represent that judicial immunity is a lemon, and we give thanks for our freedom, but we don't leave anybody behind. And you could just NUGL it how many people are unjustly serving time.
Free proceed murder. Keep your head tight, baby. You know how we rockin'.
All about.
Really though.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing. I really appreciate you, Melissa, coming in, and
it's such an honor to meet you in real life.
Yeah, I mean,
4D.
you know, we are in real life, and it's an honor to have you.
Oh, we living.
And I know where you're going. Tell us a little bit about yourself as far as your film here. I've been seeing this thing, hearing about this book. Give us some little insight on this Jack Herrera life that you're protecting and moving around and making things happen with.
Give thanks to the Most High. Some people only know the strain, but he would tell you, rest in power, that his name was Jack Herrer, like terror, and we call ourselves Herrerists. We want to let it be known that cannabis, hemp, marijuana, also known by its scientific name, Cannabis sativa L, has many uses besides euphoria, and most of us know those uses because of the late great Jack Herer's book, Jack Herer's Emperor Wears No Clothes. Talks about all the uses of cannabis hemp as well as the TRU story to behind its prohibition, behind the conspiracy, which we now know the conspiracy, it's not a theory, it's real. And now we want to set our people free.
Okay. Wow. You have a book. Are you a publisher?
We have book and we have more.
Let's tell me about this book here.
So this just came out
How
this
do you
year
hemp
for
workbook?
Hemp Future Week, and it's actually a workbook. So I would love to contribute it to the Just NUGL It library.
Oh.
It's to encourage social sharing. So a lot of the various ways that we hemp, whether it be, maybe you could give some shout outs, there's advocacy, architecture. A lot of people don't know that you can phytoremediate the air, water, and soil with cannabis hemp, and that goes from Fukushima all the way to Porter Ranch here on the West Coast. A lot of people don't know how important it can be. We know we need trees.
Yes.
We know there's some argument about whether or not cannabis is trees or
Yes,
weed or
right.
what indeed. And I'm not a scientist, but we know we have the science. I'm a filmmaker, and I've had the pleasure of interviewing doctors, activists, and also we do it for the culture. And I think it's worth noting that hip-hop artists, actors, dancers sometimes have the ear of a whole new generation that scientists don't have. So I'm just so grateful for the diversity that you have on this show, from legit information to what the mythology is on the streets, because sometimes we have to come correct and let them know.
That's true.
You might think I'm not rich and
Right.
ruthless enough,
Yeah.
but I'm here though.
You gotta let it be known.
We just
and
want to
resources.
let them know.
Rich and ruthless in resources.
Give thanks to
You
the
know,
Most High.
it ain't all about
and
the-
in clout, because a lot of people be
Yeah.
doing things for clout that you can't buy clout, and you also can't fake clout. So it's not about doing stupid things to get the clout. It's about recognizing the people that gave. So in a previous interview, I really enjoy your show, and I got to hear
Thank
you talk about how some of us have served time.
Yeah.
I like to thank you for your service, both for this country, but also for your service for the movement and all that you do.
I've done time in the military. I've done time in jail. I got both sides of the fence, and they're both have benefited me right now.
I'm more one-sided.
Okay.
I didn't go to.
I heard you were three-sided.
I didn't serve. I do have three sides. I didn't serve in
Don't
the
talk
military.
dirty to me. I hardly know you though.
I didn't serve in the military.
I served in the military because
Shout
I
out
wanted
to
Thank
my
you for your
to my
service.
I served
to
in the
my
military.
veterans out there. You know.
Yeah, I served
I
in the
wanna say
military.
that.
I
And
served
Jack
in-
Harrer was a veteran as well.
I heard he was a
Shout out to
veteran.
Jack and rest
And
in
Dennis
peace to Jack.
Ferrone. Yeah, give thanks to the
I
Most High.
joined
We
the
lost
military. Let me
Dennis
tell you something.
recently.
I joined the military, born and raised in Compton, to find another direction on what we did in Compton. My little homie Easy, joined the street military and became successful from that. And I just went another direction. And I'm glad we both went in the direction of where we both came out of it successful. You know what I mean? So.
And both of you getting your message all the way to the White House.
Absolutely.
So we want to
Yeah,
recognize, I'm a
exactly.
lifelong, we try not to fan out around here. I'm trying to be hella cool. But I am a lifelong fan. And at the age of, we don't talk age in Hollywood, but at the age of 14, the first song I ever memorized
What was that first tape you had?
was Easy Does It.
Easy does
I
it.
caught her singing that walking in. I know it was real.
So I'm keeping it real. I'm a lifelong
She
fan.
know it lyric
I
for lyric
remember
too.
when he,
Some
for
people
real, though.
bullshit.
But
They-
that's copywritten material, so you
They be
have
lip
to-
singing and
You have to
shit.
pay to play.
She knew it.
You have to NUGL it.
She didn't
It'll
even
be
have the tunes
exclusive
on. She was
content.
singing that shit a cappella. She was fucking it up too.
Oh my God.
Really though.
I actually auditioned that track in front of Bud Bundy at a house party. Back in the day, the house parties were where
That's all we
record
had.
deals went down.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually, I did that track for Master P. Even
Wow.
that's how I got my clout.
Master P is definitely.
So shout out to
Love
Easy
and
always
marriage.
because
Master
I
P.
memorized that.
Did I say
Master
that?
P
And we'll
has
tell you
showed
about
us that.
Sean and Sharon, but not on.
The knuckle.
Oh,
Yeah, because that's
It's a different story.
X-rated.
Whole different thing.
X-rated.
Well,
different light.
no, this is Knuckle TV. This is not
Anything
Knuckle X.
I will be the host for
Of the
Nuggle
Knuckle X.
X. Two more
That's
after
a
that one.
spin-off.
Tell us more about this book film that you're working on. How can we get that going?
So in 2006, Bud Bundy himself, David Faustino, said, you need to become a medical patient. As soon as he found out, we did a film together that I directed called Freeze or Burn the Movie. Shepard Fairey designed the logo for the alien worshipping cult, and Shepard of Obey fame. And when David found out we were using my personal bong in the film as a prop, he asked me if I was a medical patient, and I said I didn't want to be on any sort of a list. And he said, I already was.
On the list, yeah.
So I went to get my medical card and went to Richard Eastman's first cannabis convention in West Hollywood in 2006, and that's where I met Jack Herer himself, Eddie Lepp, Dennis Perrone, Steve Cubby, and had my HDV camera. I was filming. That was cutting edge back then.
Yep.
And I had no idea. I was a recreational smoker at the time, and I just had no idea. Dennis Perrone was the first to tell me that all use is medical use, that we have these receptors in our bodies that we don't have, allegedly, for sugar or caffeine, although you couldn't tell me that either, and that it had so many other uses. So now I'm wearing cannabis hemp.
Beautiful.
You want to feel that? That's cannabis hemp sativa, but you can't smoke it.
Is that made out of hemp?
100%.
Yeah, it tastes like, I feel like wool.
Well, some people say it's a little too rough, but they do have different. This is sort of a linen style, but they do have hemp silks and hemp drawers that are a little less rough on your nether parts and regions, your sensitive parts. So anything made of paper, plastic, fiber, or fuel could be made from cannabis hemp. So this was really eye-opening to me, and I felt I had to do my part to get the message out. I had no idea how many mainstream opportunities it was going to, I think the technical term is assed out. Are we familiar with that term?
Most definitely.
But I felt I had to do, once I knew the truth, sometimes there's no looking back. So this is the new inconvenient truth, but it's not new. So we say it's that new, but if they knew that new, if we only knew, then now you know.
It's about the future.
So you're elucidated and enlightened, and thanks to your show, you can let more people know.
We
but
let the
it's
people know.
astounding how many people don't know that it can get us off of oil. We heard from Dana Beal that it can get us off of opioids. We know that there's a whole other that you could just NUGL it about cotton.
Yes.
Which is problematic.
Yes. You know what?
Not to be dramatic, but it is problematic. And if we knew that everything made of cotton, from shirts and paper, could be made from cannabis hemp and regenerate the soil within 3 months, which none of the chemicals that we use for cotton do. And tobacco is another story, but we know, thanks to Gatewood Galbraith, if they would rotate the crops between tobacco and hemp, which are complementary, that the soil damage we're having throughout the world, not just America, would be solved. So there's so many reasons we need to keep talking about it, and we're so grateful.
You know, it's
for
so
your
crazy
show.
because back in the 60s, they were smoking marijuana, weed.
I heard. I wasn't born yet, though.
Marijuana, very illegal. And then in the 70s, it became prevalent. And I remember in the 80s, it was big. But you know, coming from the 70s and the 80s, we smoked weed to get high, not knowing that there was other medical benefits from marijuana until the legalization, quote unquote, talk about, and then all these legislations, all these lobbyists, and then I feel we got bamboozled. We got introduced with the medical side. Get a medical license, you get a medical card, you can go to the dispensary for a collective and be part of the collective. I'm like, this is good. Then we got bamboozled because the government was tapping into the financial resources of how it can benefit everybody. Then we came up with this recreational and got bamboozled. Yes, vote, yes. And then all of a sudden it clamped down.
We told you no, though, if you remember.
Was there advocacy people telling us no, not to vote for recreational?
No.
Everybody said vote for it.
Out the door with
But there were doctors who were saying no, right? Because they wanted to continue to keep putting out the recreation to get that $35 to $100. You know, that was a lifelong. That was some cheese being made from a phone call, from a picture. Take a picture of yourself and then get your card. So all I'm saying is, by you being an advocate and being what you do, how do you feel about today's push for the legislation of legalization across the board? And what do you think we're going? You think we're going to get there?
I think it's sort of like that movie Labyrinth, where we're in that maze, and in the middle of the movie, she just pushes through, and you realize you didn't have to play that game at all.
Right.
So I want to recognize a few. You touched on a few things historically that we know, but. And most of your viewers know, but some people don't know. So I want to give a shout out to Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Rick Ross, because a lot of people don't know the real Rick Ross was not a rapper. And I feel a lot of it started then.
Why do you want to give him a shout out?
Because he took the fall for an entire complicit takedown of our whole community, and our community being
cracked out,
not in terms of color lines, but in terms of financial and economics. They took every neighborhood and blamed it on him. And we found out later, and there's documentaries and whatnot, and it's still on TV, that was the government. Now, we know
Oliver
also,
North and Reagan and all that.
So that's so outrageous that to this day there are still people in jail and in prison. You know, he's free right now, but there are still people doing time based on 3 strikes and things like that, that I feel, in addition to prohibition, if we went back and looked at when the lie started, reparations need to be made. So I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but the year I was born, the U.S. government knew that cannabis can cure cancer. They have studies from 1975, so I just outed my age, and that's
Don't worry about
Hollywood.
that.
But
Age is
it's
just
the
a number.
truth.
You put it out there.
Bless your heart. It's the
Well,
truth.
you
I
did.
never lied. I
You
never
did
lied.
it.
I'm West Coast for life.
Let
but
them
I
know
never
that golden
lied.
Fuck
age.
it.
It's
Okay.
all good.
Yeah.
Real story. And so when I had the opportunity to film with Rick Simpson in the Czech Republic, and when I knew, since I met Jack, that we've all known, the government has known that cannabis can cure cancer, but has the audacity to have us with the curtains back and say, I did put Beyonce in her first movie as well, and say, no medical value?
Yeah.
That's a lie. So we know it's not true. So that should open the gates. That should unlock the cells of our brothers and sisters who are doing time. As Dana says, cannabis prohibition is false imprisonment. It should eradicate the effects of the 3 strikes if we know that 2 of the 3 or 1 of the 3 or 3 of the 3 were based on false arrests. And if we also address how many people we've lost to chemotherapy, which I'm not a doctor, so I can say this. There's studies that show that chemotherapy and radiation is what the people are dying from, not the cancer.
Wasn't it Chong who did not take chemotherapy for his cancer and just strictly CBD?
THC.
He went THC
with CBD
straight,
suppositories.
Yes. Suppository. He did that for a couple of years.
And one of the things that's worth noting, I'm not a doctor. We want everyone to explore the various modalities, because some people, something's going to work that something else isn't going to work.
Yes.
So depending on the type of cancer, we know for sure that cannabis cures skin cancer, but that they have to put it topically. We know that putting it on topically isn't going to cure internal cancers.
Yes, absolutely.
So when they don't even give us the opportunity to do these studies, they're saying, well, we have no proof, we need more studies. But we are the studies. We are the proof. Especially in California, we've been exercising our right to medicate and not play.
I noticed a lot of advocates and the people who are into holistic healing wind up falling off the face of the earth or getting killed or mysteriously dying.
Spread that word
when they get that word out there. So I definitely want to commend you for your fight. And be careful.
Oh, give thanks. Well, we're trying to #finish what we started.
Actually, #finish what we started. Say that again.
#finish what we started. Rest in power, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
We know, he was in the middle of doing a documentary about Dr. Sebi. We know
Dr. Sebi has documentaries out there already.
Correct.
Information. I know Left Eye was a big advocate of Dr. Sebi.
Correct, and a lot of people don't know she was out there visiting him.
Yeah, I know about her whole life. And I knew about him back then.
You know about a lot of that we all have questions and want to know about, but
like
that's at your discretion.
I refuse to get involved with that part of life.
Really don't.
Man. I'm on my rich and ruthless NUGL world right now.
You're on the other side of the ice?
Yeah, entertainment and advocate for NUGL and its 420 community. You know what I mean? So.
And education is entertaining, but what's different here is you're entertaining the people, but you don't have to lie to do it. You're actually giving them the truth with your entertainment.
Absolutely.
And I commend NUGL for that, and I feel, why do you think it's so difficult for other media to do that? You're sort of standing in integrity almost alone in that.
Right, that's true. But you know what? If you start it and you build it, there it comes. That's straight from Eazy-E. If you build it, there it comes. He told me to get a record shop. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, get a record shop. Just build a record shop, Warren. Get a record shop.
I should have left you hanging for saying it.
But listen, how can we assist you in this? We talked in the green room about this book.
Yes, and everybody from the West Coast to the East Coast knows that Big A Books, half the people we want to do a cameo in our film.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to put you on the spot. However, I would like to make a formal request for some of our favorite artists to join the movement. You're already a huge part of the movement, but to join the movement of Jack Herer's Emperor Wears No Clothes and share your favorite excerpts from the book, from the movie, in your favorite languages, because we're coming at you in 32 languages. We only have 3 of the 32 so far, but every year we're
I speak French.
Well, this year we're so excited.
Bonjour.
This year we're so... Well, the word for hemp in French is chanvre.
I learned something.
Yeah.
Wow, a teacher.
And they make bridges out of hemp in France. So they've been down with hemp for a while. And the word for hemp in German is Hanf.
Oh.
Hanf, por favor.
Okay, and the word in Spanish is cáñamo. So
Cáñamo.
we say, cáñamo puede salvar la planeta.
Ooh, wee.
Which is
You
hemp
sound
can
like
save the planet.
Talking that shit to me.
You did.
Say it again.
Turn off the lights.
Man.
Okay.
That's a bright light beamed
How
on
you
me.
do that now?
Say it again.
Cáñamo puede salvar la planeta. You know what I mean?
You see how she tried to emphasize it all sexy now. But back to this.
Wow, back to this.
The mic sounds
CBD
nice. Check.
Billionaire by Melissa Balin.
Well, who wants to be a CBD billionaire?
Modern
Parable.
Everyone. And if you don't want to be, then wake up.
I'm really proud of that
How many books you have?
Well, I'm a filmmaker, and unfortunately, and I did co-direct with Shepard Fairey the Vote for Change campaign, which was an incredible honor, and also did not yield much financial success, but is part of our history. So sometimes I believe it's more important to make an impact, a real influence, than... But shout out to our IG influencers as well. You could just snuggle
that's just
it.
one. That's just
You could
one.
Just snuggle
That's just one. Just snuggle it. That's just 2. You dig?
Absolutely.
And I'm just 3. Let's do it.
Hey, I waited on that.
Hey.
So CBD Billionaire is about my return, my journey back, because through my activism, I found myself no longer with my big Hollywood agent and no longer up for some of the more commercial exploits that I was up for.
Changes were made.
And really having to stand in my integrity, but I couldn't eat it though. So give thanks to the sponsors and the activists and the people who really are there when we deplete our own personal resources. And I went to go film The Occupy in 2011, and I filmed at the steps of LA City Hall, and with Richard Eastman and Dennis Perone, who came down from San Francisco, we actually gave out 4 pounds of compassion from the steps of City Hall. And you can see, you'll have to just NUGL it.
We're going to NUGL it.
Coming up on the anniversary, and I heard that NUGL is going to have an exclusive of some of those photos some people never saw.
Wow.
Because if you're on NUGL, you know, but if you're new, you need to know that the federal government has up to 7 years, allegedly, to throw a case.
Okay.
And so those of us who are not trying to catch a case, sometimes we want to be mindful not just of turning off the location notifications.
Absolutely.
Shout out to El Chapo. That's how they got him.
And if you didn't know, now you know.
For real, though.
Really, though.
And also being mindful when we release some of this information, we know they only give us 6 months to sue the government for the violations of our rights, but they give themselves 7 years. So it's just coming up on 8 years from that experience. And I heard NUGL is going to have the exclusive photos of.
Did you hear that?
That precedent.
I heard
4
about
pounds.
this is my first time hearing about it. Let's give it up for NUGL being a part of something so historical.
World premiere.
And getting around that corner.
There's actually a photo there in A Miscarriage of Justice with Richard Eastman and Dennis Perone.
Show it to the camera.
From the steps of City Hall.
I love it.
From the steps of the hall.
You know, you'll be able to see something like that on NUGL, so, you know, get ready.
For real. And so in that experience, which is a whole other episode, but I was unconstitutionally arrested 3 times over 30 days. So sometimes I say they arrested me like Dana Beal. Like I had never been arrested in my life. And then was arrested every 2 weeks.
So you was arrested, then released? Were you in that type? Or arrested, stayed in jail, bailed out, go to trial? I mean, what part of this?
They unlawfully held me more than 72 hours without a phone call each time, but I was released within 2 to 4 days each time.
Case dismissed?
No. That's a documentary called A Mother's Plea for Justice.
They gave you a couple of round trip.
And that's
what they call them. They gave you a couple of turnarounds.
They do that.
Yeah.
Well, they
bring you in Friday, let you go Monday after your court day.
They did what they did to me. It's not that they never did it to anyone else. It's that they never pulled all their tricks on one human at the same time. They changed the spelling of my name so that the bail bondsman couldn't find me. They didn't give the phone call. They unlawfully signed that I was incompetent to stand trial when I wouldn't cop a plea for 15 months.
They okie doke.
So you went through a lot of stuff.
They tried to hit her with the official, traditional okie doke.
Yep.
That's all that
was.
was.
Testing because
that's what they do.
You know,
we know.
Being of who we are, we experienced that a lot.
Man.
Yes, and I did a lot of solidarity, protesting and professing, because we feel sometimes protesting, you know, that's what these lemons are about. I had to promise my mommy not to protest anymore because the LAPD and the LA Sheriff's Department did threaten my life on camera and everything. So that and a cup of coffee, we know doesn't
get
and
then having it happen is different.
Well, knock on wood. You know, it's truly divine. Sometimes you know, I'm not very religious, but I believe it is divine. I think that Naya Ruwach Joke, who is no joke and is Emmanuel Jaw's sister, she is in the Kakuma refugee camp, and she just got her visas to travel. She's performing right now in London. And I think the important thing is, she said, when it is your time to shine, no one can hold back what God has in store for you.
Absolutely.
Thanks and praises go up. If that is true,
I like that.
Then we have to remain, because I'll tell you, I've been with some what they call ruthless killers and hit us. And I am peaceful, everyone
you with
knows.
some right now today?
That's what I'm saying, okay? You know what I mean? So
don't get it twisted.
So I give thanks, and I recognize I'm peaceful, and I want to be clear. It's not that I'm not, people think I'm brave. I've been terrified. So it's not that I'm not scared. Like I'm with some, like the real, that's why they say I'm not ruthless enough, because the real ruthless, I don't think they get scared. I get scared. I'm terrified. But I just know if I don't do it, we're all gonna go.
You're in a good place.
Oh, for sure.
Am I gonna go like a punk ass bitch?
No.
Or am I gonna go in my integrity,
You
my
bet not.
strength?
Integrity.
And
You better ride that thing till the wheels fall off.
Right.
Because I'm going up. I ain't
the
going
wheels
out like no.
fell off, so I was kind of hoping we could turn this bitch into a
Tell it.
hoverboard.
You're
You
gonna
know what
turn
I
it
mean?
to
Because the
whatever
wheels are gone.
You know,
We
I tell you
rolling.
right now. I
Fuck
tell you
it.
right now.
But I'm still here,
You're
though.
on the right path.
Give
Melissa.
thanks. I'm
Listen,
still
listen,
here, though.
Filmmaker, ghost writer, publicist,
VIGI.
VIGIP,
You know.
and you got your hands in a lot of good positive stuff
Really don't.
for the future of the community that we're embracing, and I want to applaud you on that. Let's give her a NUGL.
Thank you.
Round of applause.
Give it up for white chocolate in the house. like she said.
She's
All
so
up in your area
All
code.
up in my shit.
So I want to end this one by saying
You
thank
gotta
you
love
so
it.
much. Tell everybody how we can get in touch with you.
You can find me on all social media platforms.
What is that?
At Melissa Balin. I just had my first NUGL experience thanks to Cannabis, and
Yes.
I heard you're about
Shout out
to
to the
support
Crips.
them.
She fuck with the
She's
Crips.
in our family.
I mean, I'm not gang related.
we not talking about that gang. We talking about that other gang.
We're gonna finish
Shout
what
out
we
to the Crips.
started.
You know what I'm saying?
And I do need your help, though. I can't do it alone. So
CRPS, not CRIPS. We fucking with the Crips. I just had to say it.
we just want to let you know Cannabis could help. So please
surely
ask
can.
your doctor about reefer today. Definitely at me. You know what I mean? At me, at Melissa Balin. And hopefully, if you tweet in your support, Big A is going to make sure that we have, shout out to Corrupt and shout out to Roscoe. I'm still waiting for my barbecue sauce, but I know you're sold out.
Yeah.
So
They
But
ran it out.
I'm just saying, because every time I need some chronic ice or Roscoe's barbecue sauce, they go, "Oh, Snoop got everything. He had a barbecue. There's nothing left for you." So just holler
We'll
at
get
your
it together.
girl and just send over a little swag bag. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
And if you could share your favorite excerpts from Jack Herer's Emperor Wears No Clothes, hashtag Hemp Can Save the Planet, or the various languages that we're learning. This is the first year we're translating into Afrikaans, Swahili, French, Arabic. It's already in German, Spanish, and English for the
Well,
hearing
thank you.
impaired. So can you hear me now?
I can hear
Hemp
you.
Can
You
Why
hear
save
me?
not?
the
Not why?
planet.
Melissa Balin. If you want to get more information on Melissa, you can definitely visit us at NUGL.com, and we're going to have a link up there to this Jack Harrow
Lead you right
movement.
to the way.
And
Just
Miscarriage
NUGL
of Justice and CBD Billionaire, and what's the other one?
How do you hemp?
How
Let
do
us
you have
know.
workbook. That's a workbook. Thank you again,
We
Melissa.
put in the
I
work, and
appreciate
thank you, Big A and E3.
And we're definitely going to get you to
thank you
come
for
back. Let's
putting
give
in
her
the
a-
work. Give
We
it
love
up
you.
for NUGL.
Shout out to
Hemp.
NUGL TV in the house.
Hooray.
You know how we do it.
She's so cool.